Have you ever wondered if there are exercises that you can do if you have both osteoporosis and scoliosis? Today in this video, we are going to do a practice that's safe for both osteoporosis and scoliosis. I'm Sarah. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am a 500-hour trained yoga teacher with training in addition to that is specific to yoga and osteoporosis, and I'm also Bone Fit certified. I'm also a certified nutritional health coach through the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. And today we're going to be doing a yoga practice that is safe if you have both osteoporosis and scoliosis. So before we start our practice, I'd like to explain a little bit about what we're going to do today and why we're going to be doing that. So there are two basic types of scoliosis. There's scoliosis that a person generally develops when they are a child or maybe an early teenager, and this scoliosis goes through their life with them. And then there's also degenerative scoliosis, which can be caused by osteoporosis. This practice will be fine for either one. Osteoporosis can aggravate either type of scoliosis and cause pain from the scoliosis that they haven't previously had, even if you've had scoliosis through most of your life. So in working with a curve, and there could be one curve, two curves, or even three curves with scoliosis, there's a general principle. The part that's on the inside of the curve has muscles that are tight, and this part on the outside of the curve has muscles that are loose. So in looking at a scoliosis curve, we want to stretch out these muscles that are on the inside, and we want to strengthen these muscles that are on the outside. It's really important when you get into specifically working on a curve that you're doing exercises. You might work in an uneven way. With yoga, we usually work in a symmetrical way where we do a pose on one side and then we do a pose on the other side, and we keep things nice and even. With scoliosis, because we're trying to strengthen this particular side, it may be appropriate for you to do a pose an extra time on this side of the curve. But it's really, really critical that you talk to a doctor and a physical therapist and that you have the information to know exactly which direction your curve goes before you do exercises a second time on a particular side. It's important to make sure that you are working the side with the curve on the weak side to strengthen the weak side. The practice that we're going to do today is not going to be the kind of practice that's specific for a curve in either lumbar or in your thoracic section. It's going to be a general practice that's safe for scoliosis and for osteoporosis. So another general principle that is really helpful for looking at scoliosis is that we want to start out in a way where we are relaxing the muscles first. So when you think about the muscles on the inside of the curve where they're tight, we want to relax these muscles before we do any strengthening. We'll be working in a symmetrical way in our practice today, but we still want to see if we can relax those muscles in our back. So we're going to start out doing a few restorative poses. And the purpose is to work to relax the muscles on the inside part of the scoliosis curve. We will also be doing this in a way that is osteoporosis safe. So we're going to get ready to start our practice, and you want to gather some props. You want blocks or a block, a strap, and you'll want a bolster. You'll notice that I'm kneeling on my mat, and it may be that you get down on the floor and that you come into a kneeling position, and it may be that you don't. And it's going to be okay to do this practice even if you don't get down onto knees. I'm going to start out lying down, and if you don't get down onto knees, it's totally okay to do these exercises lying down on your bed. And if you don't happen to have a bolster, then starting out with a couple of king-size pillows or maybe a long sofa cushion, laying down on your bed, that might be just the thing, especially since we're going to start out with some restorative. So go ahead and gather your props, pause me, grab your props, come back, figure out where you want to start. And then we're going to get started with your pillow setup, whatever you're using for a bolster. And then go ahead and come so that your bottom is in front of your pillow setup. And we're going to lie down with our backs on our pillow setup. So this is actually going to do a few things that are really beneficial. It's a restorative pose. It'll be good for helping the muscles in the back to relax, but it also helps to open up through the thoracic section and to help to fight potential kyphosis, which is something that we really want to avoid with osteoporosis. So if you lean down on your side or come straight back, being mindful of your spine, making sure that you don't come into a forward folding position. And from here, you can leave your legs out long if that feels good. You can take your arms out to the sides. Palms could face up, palms could face down. Eyes could be opened or closed depending on what feels right in your body. It might feel best to have your legs out long, and the other possible option here would be to bend your knees out to the sides and letting your feet come in together, gently working through the hips. And it could be that your legs are further out or closer in, just depending on what feels right in your body. There's not a right or wrong here. This is a restorative pose. Maybe it even feels good to put pillows underneath your knees or blocks. Experiment a little bit with how you feel the most supported, what feels best in your body. And then know that eyes can be open or closed. The palms can face up or down. Make this comfortable and supportive for you. From here, whether your legs are bent or if they're out long on the mat, either way, go ahead and gently roll over with your whole body coming onto one side. And go ahead and slide your pillow setup out from underneath you, and then mindfully, being careful of your spine, go ahead and come down onto one side. And we're going to go ahead and lie down on our backs. Once more, go ahead and take your pillow setup, lift your hips up, and set your pillow setup underneath your low back and your hips. So this time we're coming into a supported bridge pose. Just really letting your prop come up to support your body. Again, arms can be out to the sides, palms facing up or down. Maybe it feels better to prop them on your pillow setup. Eyes can be open or closed here. And by staying here for a few minutes, then we give the opportunity for blood flow to move back up the spine. This is actually a mild inversion because the hips are over the heart. And as that blood flow moves back along your spine, the discs between your vertebrae have the opportunity to actually absorb a little bit of the fluid. This helps to hydrate the discs. It helps to nourish your back and the health of your spine in general. So it's another wonderful restorative pose. It's beneficial for both osteoporosis and scoliosis. from here, go ahead and lift your hips up. Roll your bolster out from underneath and go ahead and slide it over to one side, coming down so that you're lying flat on your back. From here, go ahead and take your legs out long on the mat and reach your arms up overhead, coming into a big full body stretch. Extension is a really helpful movement for helping to bring balance back to the spine and your hips. It's a good thing all over. And while you're here, go ahead and work through your feet. Point your toes and flex your feet. Point, flex, point, flex, point, flex, and go ahead and let your feet return to neutral. Go ahead and bring your arms back down to your sides. And now we're going to go ahead and come into a working bone fit bridge. Go ahead and bend both knees, walking your feet in so that your feet are about hip width apart. They could be further out or closer in or anywhere in between that feels right in your body. This is about making this work for you. This is not about making this look a particular way. Another thing that's important to keep in mind when doing exercises for both osteoporosis and scoliosis is that not every exercise is going to be right for everyone's body. And know that if there's any pose that ever causes you pain, come out of it. Don't do it. Listen to the wisdom of your body. Continuing with our bone fit bridge, go ahead and bring your arms out to your sides at about a 45-degree angle. Press the back of your head and your shoulders into the floor. This helps to create stability for the spine. Don't look at me. Listen to what I have to say, and if you need to watch this, then watch first and then rewind and do this particular exercise again. You want to create stability for your spine before you do it. So press the back of your head and your shoulders into the floor. Then lift both hips up towards the sky. Maybe even squeezing glutes at the top, coming into a bone fit bridge. It doesn't matter how high you lift. It's about putting good stress through your spine and also working into glutes, which provide long-term support for your spine. So glutes and good stress for the spine. Bring your focus back to your breath. And go ahead and lower down to the floor. Really nice work. Go ahead and take your legs out long on the mat. Reach your arms up overhead, coming into a big full body stretch. And go ahead and roll over onto your belly. Go ahead and bring yourself all the way down to the floor and bring your arms out alongside your torso. We're going to do some small back bends that are designed to strengthen your back. This will help to strengthen your postural muscles and the muscles in your back along your spine and throughout your back as well. So it will help to provide good support for your back and also to fight kyphosis. Inhale, lift your head, shoulders, and arms. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, roll up. And this time, see if you can hover and hold your half locust. Really working to strengthen the muscles in your back. And go ahead and lower down. Go ahead and bring your hands out in front of you. making a little pillow for underneath your forehead and letting yourself soften and sink into either your bed or the mat. And let's do another set. Go ahead and bring your arms out alongside your torso. Inhale, lift your head, shoulders, and arms. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, roll up. And this time, see if you can hover and hold arms, shoulders lifted, really working to strengthen the muscles in your back. Bring your focus to your breath. And go ahead and lower down, bringing your hands out in front of you, making a little pillow for underneath your forehead. And go ahead and lift yourself up. This time bring both forearms so that your forearms are out long in front of you. This is our little bit deeper small back bend. It's called Sphinx pose. Go ahead and press into the floor with both forearms and lift up through the top of your head, through the crown of your head. Really working to strengthen the muscles of your back and to stretch out your belly muscles. And from here, go ahead and lower all the way down and go ahead and roll over onto your side, and let's come back onto our backs. Something else that's really helpful with both scoliosis and osteoporosis is to be able to have mobility and to work through the hips. It makes things like tying our shoes easier, to be able to pick something up off the ground. When you do those tasks, it's really important to spare your spine and to not round your spine with osteoporosis. But learning to work through your hips is also helpful. Go ahead and hug your right knee into your chest. It might be that it's further out or closer in, depending on the mobility that you have in your hip. Go ahead and see about taking it out and bringing it in. Maybe just a little bit further, closer into your chest each time. And then coming down into your chest, start to move your knee in 3 little circles going to the right, and 3 little circles going to the left. And really hug your knee in as close to your chest as you can. And go ahead and release. Let's do the other side. Hug your left knee into your chest, maybe gently working it in, taking your leg out and bringing it in and out, gently working into your hips. One side might be easier to bring in than the other. That's totally normal. We tend to have a side that's more flexible. And let's do 3 little circles going to the right. And we'll do 3 little circles going to the left. And go ahead and release your leg. Grab your strap. Wrap your strap around your right foot and lift it up towards the sky. And I've got quite a bit of flexibility and my leg is way up here, but it may be that you're feeling a stretch with your leg way out in front of you. And as long as you're feeling a stretch on the back of your leg, it's the right place to be. That's why we've got the strap. Make this work in your body. See if you can straighten your opposite leg out. If you can, great. And if you can't, that is also okay. And then work on bringing your leg in, working to keep your leg straight. Working through your hamstrings on the back of your leg. Working through your hips. And bring your focus to your breath. And go ahead and take your leg out to the side, holding your leg out to the side. Again, holding your leg wherever that happens to be that feels right in your body. I've been doing this for a long time, but know that it's okay to be wherever you happen to be. As long as you're feeling a stretch in your body, it's the right place to be. And go ahead and lift your leg back up to center, bend your knee and release your foot. Let's do the other side. Go ahead and wrap your strap around your left foot, lifting it up towards the sky. Could be further out or closer in, just depending on what feels right in your body. See if you can straighten this leg out on the mat. If you can't, it's okay. Having a slight bend or wherever you happen to be is okay. And then working your leg in as close as you can bring it in. Bring your focus back to your breath. And go ahead and take your leg out to the side, holding your leg out to the side. Hopefully you managed to get your props out of the way, unlike me. Holding your leg out to the side. Go ahead and lift your leg back up to center, bend your knee and release your foot. You can set your strap off to the side. And go ahead and grab a block. Walk your feet in so that your knees are bent and place the block between both knees. We're going to do a little bit of osteoporosis safe core work that's also good for scoliosis. We're working in an even way. Squeeze the block with both knees. And take both knees forward and bring them back to center. Take them forward and bring them back. Take them forward, 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 bring them back, and lower your feet down to the mat or to your bed, either way. You could even take the block out. We'll do one more set in just a moment, but let your knees drop in towards each other. Let your belly soften. Take a moment just to breathe. And let's go ahead and do one more set. Go ahead and place the block between both knees. Squeeze the block, arms come out to the sides to help with stabilization. And go ahead and shift your legs forward and back. 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 And go ahead and release the block. Let your knees drop in towards each other. Let your belly soften. Take a moment just to breathe. And go ahead and take both legs out long on the mat. Reach your arms up overhead, coming into a big full body stretch, creating extension in the spine. And go ahead and bring your arms out to your sides, palms facing up towards the sky. You give your legs a little bit of a wiggle and a shake out. And let your legs soften and relax. Close your eyes. Let your face soften. Let your shoulders and arms relax. And let your torso and hips feel heavy and sink down towards the earth. Take just a moment to let everything in your body relax. Go ahead and start to bring feeling back into your fingers and your toes. Go ahead and start to roll over onto one side, making your way up into a comfortable seated position, whether that's off the edge of your bed or seated in a chair, or in my case, I'm going to come into a kneeling position because that feels good and provides good support for my spine. Take a moment to roll your shoulders back once, to lift up through the crown of your head, and take just a moment to picture someone or something that you're grateful for. And then bringing hands together at heart center. Namaste. The light in me bows to the light in you. Thank you. I hope that you found this practice helpful. If you have any questions about the practice or need any adaptations, please leave me a comment in the questions. I'm happy to help. Have a wonderful day. Talk soon.